Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Thank you very much for joining me. Our patient is a Mercedes key fob, another one. This one suffered from liquid damage. It has been submerged, I guess, in water, so not quite the rain stuff. The customer dried it off, replaced the battery, but the key fob is dead. So what we gotta do is open it, see if we can spot any corrosion and stuff like that. Perhaps reflow the chips, maybe even remove the chips and rebolt them, depending on the kind of damage. But immediately on this one, so what happened here is that this has already been opened, which is good for me because that means it's going to be much easier to open than when it's new, because these are glued. So you have to essentially break the seal. That's why you can always tell when it has been opened, right? You can glue it back together, sure, but you can always tell when it has been opened. This one probably has not been glued together. Let's see. I can't really tell right now. And that's why it suffered from liquid damage, because it's no longer sealed as it came from the factory. So let's see if this is going to be a easy quick fix or not. And yeah, I can already see that looks to me so worst kind of liquid damage is from salt water, and this looks like a residue from salt water. So the customer perhaps was on the beach, right? And you keep your key fob in your shorts and you maybe get in the water and you forget that you had key fob in your pocket, and then startling discovery, and the car no longer starts. Well, let's hope I'm wrong about this, because with seawater the chances of reviving this are significantly slimmer. So first what we're gonna do is just put it in the ultrasonic bath, and then we're gonna replace the battery and see if that will fix the issue by itself. There's a chance that it will. For some reason it's not disassembling easy, because once it's been opened it should disassemble easily, but this one is giving me a little problem. There's one, oh, look at this, plenty of residue from liquid, and it's more and more strongly starting to look like salt water. Very unfortunate. Okay, both sides are off. So now it should open easily, unless the previous technician glued it back together, which is not a bad thing to do. Whoa, yeah. And it's an Atmel chip, so it's not even the original. Why do people keep sending me the aftermarket key fobs? Well, they probably don't know. It's becoming more and more rare to see original key fobs. Typically, I don't do the aftermarket key fobs, but you know, there's still plenty of value because it's already programmed to the vehicle. And what we can do over here, if it turns out that the board is completely corroded through and it won't work, we can transplant the chip to the donor board, and I have a couple in stock, so that's like the worst case scenario. But I'm not sure which chip holds the actual cryptographic data. Oh, yeah. All right, so first let's give it a bath. Oh, yeah, I told the customer when they wrote me to, remove the battery immediately, to stop the corrosion process, prevent any further corrosion. And that's the main thing that you gotta do with any device that suffers liquid damage. I've seen laptops where the customer would bring the laptop and I would find the grains of rice in the laptop. No, don't do that. It's pointless. It doesn't help anything, and that's not where the fear is of liquid. Liquid by itself, unless it's itself corrosive, like maybe an acid, alkaline, what have you. If it's just a liquid, the damage will only be caused by the electricity flowing through it. That's what's going to cause corrosion, electrolysis, and it's going to eat away the traces, damage components, stuff like that. So when you suffer liquid damage on anything, be it laptop, phone, key fob, immediately remove the battery. Then you can dry it, then put it in rice, whatever you want to do. But you need to stop the electricity, the flow of electricity, because that is what's going to cause the damage, not the liquid itself. So let's give it a bath and see what we can do. All right, so either we're not making good connection here. So pins 4 and 5 over here is ground and VCC. Right, so we should have around 3 volts on these two pins, and we get 0 essentially. So, oh, the battery fell out, so that's problem number 1. Let's put the battery back in. There's no signs of infrared. Let's try now. 20, 21, 22 millivolts. That would indicate a short. It's very common for the devices to develop a shorted cap after liquid damage. I'm not sure why that happens, but it's pretty common. Alrighty, we're gonna reflow at 255. It's starting to smoke nicely. We're gonna drown it in flux and see what it does. So what concerns me is that red LED over here. I don't remember that red LED flashing on any other ones. And the one that we have that has that emits infrared, it doesn't flash the red LED. This one does not emit any infrared, and it flashes the red LED. So that could be an indication of a fault. But if the liquid damage is the only issue here, the reflow should do some difference. But the liquid could have damaged something, and it's not just gonna go away by itself, just through a reflow. I mean, it could, but it's rather unlikely. And I don't see any obvious corrosion or anything like that, because typically after liquid damage, when the battery was still inserted, typically you have some traces to restore, that kind of stuff, right? But I don't see anything over here. That entire damage that we saw seemed to have been only surface. For some reason my heater reset and it started cooling down. Not sure why. This cable, this charger is not the best either. But I used to use it on this one and it would work just fine. We're at 130, 150. The flux is bubbling. So that will remove the corrosion from underneath the chips, between the legs, and all that kind of stuff. So if this is the issue of cracked solder, this will fix it. But I don't think it is. And now that it's hot, we should be able to just tap on some of those chips Oh, it's not flowing yet. This one is flowing. This one is flowing. Let's tap on this one. And this guy. Okay. Now let's shut it down. Let it cool down. Clean all the flags. And see if we have any difference. But I don't suspect we do. Now, in some cases, after liquid damage, underneath the chip, the bridge can be built from all the gunk and, liquid and stuff. It dries off and it creates a high to medium resistance resistor, which messes up with the circuit. In which case, flooding it with flux and heating it up should dissolve that bridge, and it should clean out, with just alcohol and toothbrush and stuff. We're gonna put it back in the ultrasonic cleaner again, just to make sure, after the reflow, and let's test it. All right, looks like the reflow actually did something. So I read a little more on it, so that red flashing LED should flash when you press the button and when you release the button. With every button, it should flash when you press and flash when you release. And the last button here, come on, oh, come on. Yeah, flash when you click and release, and it flashes again. Which it didn't do before. Let's see the panic button. Yeah, panic button, the same thing. So this indicates that it's working. The battery is fine and the circuit is working. I do not see any activity on IR though, which is weird. But, not every key fob works exactly the same. So this might be, yeah, this might be okay. Let's put it back together. Yeah, so you can see that, but that LED over here. All right. So, but for some reason, no IR. And usually they do flash IR, but this one doesn't seem to be flashing IR. No idea what's up with that. But we're gonna send it back and just test it in the car, because there might be something I'm not aware of, and that's why it's causing me the, what do you call it? Okay, well, it is flashing, so it's no longer dead, right? It is flashing, indicating that it's working. But because it might open the car, right? Because the radio is working, but when you put it in the ignition, it won't start the car. So let me know. Test it. Let me know. I think it will work. This is my gut feeling. It says that it should work. But let me know. If it doesn't, then maybe we can figure something out. Alrighty. That should be it for this repair. Thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate you. And I shall see you guys in the next one.